Now it's much better because now a man like you can have a Bible. Not only can you have a Bible, you can have an iPad.
Yes, exactly.
With 1,000 Bibles.
Yeah.
But when we think of, if we just were to take it now, we could say, right, I'm going to forget the church because now I've got the Bible, and maybe ever since printing was invented, Gutenberg invented the press, and so printed Bibles became abundant eventually, and people could read and write in the West. I mean, don't forget, people from the developing world, most of them can't read very well, and they certainly don't have access to much in the way of books. So we have to just say, in the Western world, you could say, I've got the Bible, so I can get to know Jesus through the Bible. You could say that to an extent, but in much of the world you still can't say that. So, but let's look at where we are now. Even if one says, I can know Jesus through the Bible, I believe there are things in the Bible which tell us to be a full Christian, you have to have something more. I'll give you an example. In St. John's Gospel, chapter 20, verse 28.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'll get to it, so I'll make sure I've got the right verse.
Because I read it chapter 20.
Yeah, verse 20. It may not be 28, let me just see. 22.
John, yeah?
John 20.
John 20.
Yeah?
20.
Verse 22. So it goes, and this is after the resurrection, and Jesus come to visit the 12, and when he said this, he breathed on them and said to them, receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive the sins of any, they're forgiven. If you retain the sins of any, they're retained. Now, Jesus speaking to the apostles, he's given them this special power after breathing the Holy Spirit on them. Before he breathed it on them, they didn't have this special power, but now they've got it. So they have the power to forgive sins, but they also have the power to refuse to forgive sins, because it says that. Just read it again, So.
Yeah, but my understanding.
I'll just say why we're getting at that. Why even bother? What it means is that ordinary Christians would need to go to an apostle to confess their sins, because it's the apostle who can forgive it or refuse to forgive it. Whereas if you say to God, as an ordinary Christian at the time of the apostles, if you just say to God in your house, I'm sorry, God, you can't know that you're forgiven, because Jesus gave the power to forgive to the apostles. Now, when they die, other men who've succeeded them have that power.